in order to graph this cotangent function, I first want to think, what is my vertical stretch? So my vertical stretch, well, is related to that number right there. So it's going to be a stretch of 3. Now, my next part I want to find out is my period. Well, my period for cotangent deals with that. So it's, instead of 2 pi divided by that 2, it's just going to be pi divided by 2. So that simply is my period, pi divided by 2. So second of all, next thing, sorry, not second, to graph cotangent, I have to realize cotangent has the asymptotes on the edges, and the graph will have that look in between. So that kind of helps to get a general look at what's going to happen. So with that in mind, what you're going to notice is you're going to start with an asymptote right there. And then my next asymptote, well, how far over is that? It's going to be my period, which is pi over 2. And I'm going to make that, well, let's put it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to start it right here. Right here. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, and put it right there. I'm going to put an asymptote there, and I'm going to call that pi over 2. I'm just going to call it pi over 2. I'm going to put an asymptote right there at pi over 2. Because, like I said earlier, the asymptotes are on the edge on cotangent. Now, exactly between these two asymptotes is going to be the middle of your cotangent graph. So right here is going to be the middle. And your vertical stretch was 3, so halfway between these, you're going to go up 3. So in order to go up 3, I'm going to kind of label this right here 3, and this negative 3. Okay, so I'm going to go up 3 right there. And then on the other side between these two, I'm going to go down 3. So I'm going to go down 3 right there. And then I'm going to make my cotangent graph kind of looks like that. That would be one period of my cotangent graph. Now for this next problem, first thing I want to do here on this one is I want to find my midline. My midline is going to be y equals that number, so 1. Next, my vertical stretch. Well, my vertical stretch is right there in front, so it's a negative 1, which means it's going to be the opposite direction to asymptotes on the edge. And then the last thing is my period. So my period is going to be pi divided by 1/3. Now, a lot of people struggle with seeing this as 1/3, but when you divide by 3, you're taking a third of it. Anyways, when I divide by 1/3, I multiply by 3 over 1. So that would be my period is actually going to be 3 pi. So if I start right here with an asymptote, I'm going to go over right here is going to be my period of 3 pi. All right, so I start here, my end is going to be at 3 pi, and I'm going to put 2 asymptotes. So one on this edge and one on this edge. All right, and now in between these, I am going to graph this function. Now the thing is, I almost forgot to graph my midline. My midline, important, very important, is going to be right here at positive 1. That's a very important feature. So my graph is between these two and centered around that midline. Okay, so halfway between here on the midline, which is right there, is going to be the center of my graph. Since I have a negative 1 vertical shift, between these two, I'm going to drop 1. And between these two, I'm going to go up 1. And then I have my cotangent graph. Just like that.